Welcome, everyone. My name is Andrew Faulkner. I'm the CEO of Staley Technologies. And Gary, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep. Hello, everybody. My name is Gary Ferrell. I'm the president of Staley Technologies.
And today we're going to be talking about our history, how we got here to where we are today. And, who are we today? We're a national networking and technology deployment company. But that's not who we've always been. And I wanted to invite you here to kind of give us the history of how Staley Technologies got to where we are today.
So Staley Technologies started as Staley Electric in 1951. It was a mom and pop shop, and they did small electrical things around town, around the city of Little Rock. And in the 80s, the son, Ed Staley, went to the University of Arkansas and came home, and he kind of lifted that company up to the next step and got into, through relationships he made at school, through the point of sale wiring at that time. At that time, it was token ring, which is an old system that's not been in use for years, and he developed a cabinet specifically for that. He developed that cabinet because of Dillard's, because that's what they used, and they were doing acquisitions. And we helped them with those acquisitions, and this cabinet that we made them able to take a cash register offline and not take the whole system down, which that's what token ring would do. Then we started doing some small work for Walmart, and as time went on, we started doing some major rollouts with them in new stores. We did many, many new stores, and it just kept expanding and expanding. I came to Staley in 1989 on the electric side, and then soon crossed over to the low voltage side, and we began to do lots of new stores for Walmart when they were doing the giant stores. We did the token ring with that box until the early 90s, and then token ring was replaced, obviously, with the new technology that's still used today. So then we began to, because of that, and we were kind of challenged that if we wanted to do work for the large companies, then we had to enlarge. We had to get larger to be able to accommodate them. And we started building offices throughout the country. And at one time we had, our largest part was 9 offices and 400 people. And there was only a handful of people doing what we did, a handful of companies, probably 6 or 8 companies that was in that world early on. And as time progressed, of course, lots of other companies came along doing the same thing. So we used to travel by vehicle, by planes, and send techs all over the country to do what we do. And competition, of course, causes you to look different at how you do business. And we started building those offices. So,
Was it primarily low voltage work at that point in time, or were we installing other things as well beyond just low voltage?
It was primarily low voltage, but with both of those customers, there was a lot of technology that was new. The technology was moving so fast, and we would put a widget in 100 stores, and they would try that widget out, and we may go back a year or so later and do a company-wide all locations installation, or we may take it out, or we never hear from them again about that technology. So technology was changing. Technology still changes every day, but back then it was changing so rapidly that low voltage is what we did primarily, but we would touch so many things and build whatever the customer needed us to build.
So when it comes to installing those widgets, that technology, how did our technicians, how did they at the time figure out how to install that stuff? Or was there kind of a different system that we had in place to help with the variety of things that we were being asked to do by the Walmarts and the Dillards of the world?
So there was training. Normally it was by the people that created the technology. They would do training with our technicians and with us on almost every piece of that. And then once you just continue to do technology and technology and technology, it's not that we've seen it all, but we've seen something similar. So then our technicians were just so well versed. They still are today.
So obviously our roots were with Dillard's and Walmart for the most part, but then we grew beyond just those two companies. Will you kind of tell us how we got into other accounts, how that natural progression was?
So it's really interesting. We never had a salesman until the 2000s because the people we dealt with were in the IT departments, and in the IT departments they would leave and go to another large business and take us with them. So from those two, it went to BJ's wholesale house. Just several others, just they would go and we would follow, and it was usually national large companies.
So when they would take another job at a BJ's or a Costco or whoever, they would land in those new roles and they would say, we need to be using Staley Technologies is kind of how that...
That's right. Still happens today, not as frequently, but it still happens. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Gary, we've started off with a certain amount of employees, have grown, and who we are today is a number. Kind of go through the progression of kind of our employee count, who we were and where we are today with that.
So when I started in 1989, there was 25 people in the company total. And that started to grow in the 90s because we started doing larger electrical work and more low voltage work. And so our electricians used to do the low voltage, but in the 90s we kind of split that apart. We began hiring people to do low voltage only, and then the electricians, of course, stayed doing the electrical. In the 90s, we opened Springdale, Arkansas office, then we opened Colorado, then we opened Atlanta, and it just grew from there. In the 2000s, that's when we went to see Costco, and we began doing work for Costco, and that technician count we just kept adding to that. Most of the employees most of the work for most of the customers we try to do, and we still do today, with our W-2 employees. And it's hard to keep those people, and they travel a lot. But we have some really good people. We try to take care of them. I know that you have really done that in taking care of people. You really have. So,
I appreciate that. We also have local work, which kind of plays into our technician count as well. When did Staley Technologies start doing almost a separate line of local business versus the national business that we do? When did we start doing that local business for low voltage?
Well, we've always talked about wanting to do it because we had brick and mortar locations. We had a manager in those offices. We had a coordinator that took care of the employees and assigned them jobs. But they were always on the road. So what we wanted to do was pepper our national work with local work to be able to keep those technicians that we had. Little Rock, of course, was the first place that we did that, and we've had a couple different managers there, but we've got some people that were on the road for us for many years, enjoyed working for us. They are so well versed. You can give them anything to do, and they'll figure it out because they've seen something like it, and they're just great employees. So that was the main reason that we wanted to do that local work, was to be able to bring those technicians that have been on the road 5, 6, 10 years, and they can only do that so long.
Right. So we brought them in to the local market, so they could get off the road for a little bit. And some of them are permanently in our local markets. Some of them move in and out of the national market, then into the local markets. So, is there really any difference in what we do as a company locally versus nationally? What are what would you say are any differences between the types of work we do nationally versus locally?
I don't know that there's the only difference would be local. We are still touching, and because of the experiences that we have, we're able to touch many different technologies where a lot of local businesses only do the low voltage cable, and we're much more than that. From a national standpoint, we still do the cabling. We touch many different types of technology. And sometimes in the local, we do even more because we're doing more fiber now than the local market.
So, Gary, I know our customers in the past and even present day come to us, look to us for help in consulting around projects that they've got that involve brand new technology that they're wanting to implement in their stores. What has been your experience working with customers around just that consultative nature of us helping them through whether it's design or deployment or implementation of a new piece of technology that either we've brought to them to consider or that they've sourced themselves, but it's kind of cutting edge technology that we're a part of that process. Tell us a little bit about those experiences in the past and how that's gone.
So that is very true. I think that the relationship we have with a lot of our customers, national and local, is being a trusted advisor. So they call us because they know we touch a lot of different things. They may have a project that they might have the technology, but they're not quite sure how to implement it. They're not quite sure how it's going to install. And we sit down with them in a partnership, and we sit at a table, and we look at the product, we understand it, we gain knowledge about it, and then we come back, and we have some very smart people. And we come back and we sit at our table and we say, okay, how are we going to make this happen? And we've done that for several people at several large customers and small.
Oh, that's great. That's a fun process when we get to do that and be on the forefront of those types of projects.
It is.
Our company comes from humble beginnings, like you've mentioned, doing local Little Rock electrical work to today having 8 offices around the country. Will you just tell us kind of how that's been to be on that journey? And, in your mind, did you ever imagine in the 80s when you were working for Staley that you'd be working for a company that grew so rapidly and is doing work in so many different places?
No. So it's been a ride. It has been a wild ride. We have employees today in 26 states. Again, we try to do most of the work with our employees. We've been in every state in the country. We've been in Hawaii. We've been in Alaska. We've been in Puerto Rico. We've been in Canada. We actually went to Canada and helped a national customer find someone to do their work, and we trained them for that customer. We've been to England to consult with a national customer large that bought somebody. We went to Mexico. We've been to Mexico several times. And we have employees in 26 states today, and it's just been a wild ride. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
Sounds like it.
So, Andrew, you know where we've been and what we've done by listening, and you've been a part of that also for many years, even before you acquired Staley Technologies. Yeah. Where are we going?
That's a great question, Gary. Wherever we want. I think we are in a perfect position today to really just continue that journey that you've described already, where we are a trusted advisor for our customers around new technology. There is absolutely no shortage of new things coming out, especially in the different verticals that we work in. And so, as you referenced before, where we had a customer that actually had us go find somebody in Canada for them to use as their installer in that country, and trusted us with that task, and then trusted us to train that Canadian company to do that. Trust is really where this growth has always come from, and that is where this growth is going to continue to come from with our customers. And so whether it's kiosks or Wi-Fi or any other types of self-checkout, or who knows what's around the corner for us to be helping with our customers implement. But we're really in a good position today to continue to grow that with our customers, be that consultant, be that trusted advisor with them, and help them implement new technology that's going to help them stay relevant and in the marketplace. And so we're going to continue to grow. We're in a great position for that. And, I really think that as long as we continue to have that trust with our customer, as long as we continue to exceed their expectations when we work for them and do things right the first time and have fantastic communication throughout the process with our customers, we're going to continue to grow leaps and bounds like we have for the last 30 years. So I'm excited about it. Lots of opportunity out there in the technology
I
space.
am too. We're going to continue to have fun.
Gary, thanks again for being a part of this today. That's going to wrap up our session. And next time, I invite you to join us to hear about frequently asked questions around interactive kiosks. Thank you. Bye.